What is up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm ranking every major Jurassic big bad villain from worst to best. Before we begin, I need to make one thing clear. Dinosaurs like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Rebirth Spinosaurus, and the Mosasaurus are not included here. Those animals hunt for survival, they are not villains. The list strictly focused on engineered threats, hybrids, or dinosaurs intentionally written as antagonists. Each villain will be judged on 3 categories: persistence, significance, and most importantly, villainy. Let's get into it. Mutadon earns the last place spot because it simply does not justify its role as a villain. Yes, it technically has a chase scene near the end of Rebirth, and to be fair, that scene is not terrible. The stalking is decent, and for a brief moment it feels like the movie is finally committing to the Mutadon as a threat. Unfortunately, that tension disappears almost immediately because the creature is disposed of far too early. Then there is that moment Mutadon ambushes the raptors while my man is taking a piss. That is not intimidating, that is just disrespectful. That is just like a minus 10,000 aura loss moment, and Mutadon did not gain any in return. As a villain, Mutadon feels way less calculated as an antagonist and more like an excuse to introduce another mutant. It lacked presence, purpose, and lasting impact. At best, it is like a weaker, less impressive flying raptor that never earns its screen time. Overall in score, it's a 1.5 out of 5 for persistence, a 0.5 for significance, because it barely did anything, and for villainy it can have a 1 out of 5, so an overall 3 out of 15, not that good of a villain. Distortus Rex is one of the biggest missed opportunities in the franchise. Based on its design and hype, I was expecting a massive confrontation, or at least a memorable rampage. Instead, what we got was actually really simple. Tasty chopper. Tasty crabs. Oh look, water. Bye-bye! And that is basically the entire character. There is no extended chase, and no strategic behaviour, and no meaningful interaction with the main cast. Distortus Rex shows up, causes some random destruction, and then leaves the movie like it has another appointment to get to. If this creature ever appears again in a future film, please make it actually do something. Because right now, Distortus Rex feels less like a villain and more like a checklist item that never got finished. Scores, I give it a 1.5 for persistence, a 1 for significance, and a 1 for villainy. Total 3.5 out of 15. Barely better than the Mutadon.
Why you bullying me? Why you bullying me? Why you bullying me?
The Giganotosaurus looks terrifying, but it never fully commits to being a villain. Early on, it bullies a T-Rex, and for a brief moment, it feels like the franchise is setting up for a new apex antagonist. Unfortunately, that promise is short-lived because the Giga is later bullied right back by the Theri and Rexy, completely undoing its dominance. For something marketed as the big bad of Dominion, its actions are surprisingly passive. It spends more time eating bugs and deer than it does threatening the main characters. While it does appear multiple times and shows persistence, it lacks intent, personality, and true menace. Calling it a big bad honestly feels like a joke, hence why the community called it the Joker of the franchise. For scores, it gets a persistence of 2.5 out of 5, a significance of 1.5 out of 5, and a villainy of 0.5. Yeah, no surprise there. It gets a rating of 4.5 out of 15. Overall decent, but a bit misunderstood when it comes to pure evilness.
Clever girl.
Taking the number 5 spot is the big one, the original big bad, and its legacy is undeniable. This Velociraptor stands out because of its intelligence, leadership, and tactical behaviour. It commands the other raptors, adapts to human defences, and creates some of the most suspenseful moments in the entire franchise. The kitchen scene alone remains one of, if not the most iconic sequence in Jurassic history. However, despite its brilliance, the big one's overall impact is limited compared to later villains. It is not responsible for the park's collapse, and once Rexy arrives, its reign ends quick. While it is the greatest immediate threat to the standard cast, it does not dominate the larger narrative. It is an incredible first antagonist, but does not reach top tier status. Overall, the Raptor ringleader gets a persistence of 3.5, a significance of 4, and a villainy of 4, giving the total of 11.5. Pretty strong, but not quite as good as the big 4 coming right up now.
Hiya, Georgie.
The Indoraptor is one of the most effective horror villains the Jurassic franchise has ever produced. From the moment it appears, Fallen Kingdom shifts into a slasher film. The Indoraptor stalks its victims, messes with them psychologically, and thrives in tight enclosed spaces. It feels malicious rather than instinctual, which immediately separates it from most dinosaurs in the series. It survives heavy gunfire, outmaneuvers trained humans, and delivers a brutal final act. Its fight with Blue is very memorable, and its death is perfectly poetic. After Claire gets stabbed, it also dies and gets stabbed in the same way. However, despite how terrifying it is, the Indoraptor lacks the long-term impact of the franchise's wider story, which hold it back just slightly. It gets a 4 out of 10 for persistent, pretty persistent. For significance, the whole film revolved around it, so obviously a 4 out of 5. And Villainy, also a 4 out of 5. Pretty malicious and awesome. A total of 12 out of 15. Slightly better than the big one, but not as good as the big 3 coming up. The Scorpios is a chaotic, unpredictable nightmare, and easily one of the franchise's most unhinged creations. As the central antagonist of Camp Cretaceous Season 3, it completely dominates the story. Its roar is unsettling, its movement is erratic, and the reveal that there are 2 of them immediately raises the stakes. We see it no differ Brachiosaurus and tear through paras, like a wolf slaughtering lambs. Its defining gimmick, poison quills, makes it uniquely dangerous and horrifying. Every encounter feels volatile and out of control. While its death is somewhat unclear, it is most likely crushed by the visitor centre. The only reason why it's not ranked higher is that it appears deeply unstable and consistently in pain, which almost makes it feel a little understood. Almost. Scores. Scorpios bags itself a 5 out of 5 for persistence, a 4.5 out of 5 for significance, and a 4 for villainy. Just a little misunderstood. A total of 13.5 out of 15. Very close, but not as close as the big 2 villains. Assets 87. The reason Jurassic Park 3 exists. If this ranking were based purely on entertainment and on-screen dominance, the Spinosaurus would easily be number 1. This creature is a master at holding infinite grudges, especially stupid idiots who go onto a dangerous island with only an F-16. It kills a T-Rex in record time and continues that slasher-level behaviour in Camp Cretaceous, where it easily handles Big E.T. and nearly kills Big and Little E.T. It is massive, relentless, and unmatched on Manticorp or Sauna. Once it locks onto a target, it does not stop. Unless, of course, it gets 2v1'd. The only reason it does not take the top spot is that its writing is less refined than our top 1 villain. This spine slasher is the master of persistence and gets 5 out of 5. Its significance is a 4.5 out of 5, and villainy 5. It was brutal, which gives it a total of 14.5, just half of 1 off a perfect score. However, I think he needs to hand over that title to the true villain of slasher in the franchise. Taking the number 1 spot is the White Demon. The Indominus Rex is the most complete, persistent, and terrifying villain the Jurassic franchise has ever seen. From the moment it fakes its own escape, Jurassic World becomes a masterclass in villain build-up. This creature killed over 200 dinosaurs/humans, adapts at terrifying speed, manipulates human behaviour, and learns from every encounter. Every scene it appears in pushes the story forward, and the hybrid concept is executed perfectly. It is intelligent, cruel, and methodical. There is no wasted screen time, and no other villain matches its presence. Yeah, I couldn't imagine what would happen if the Indominus was fully grown. For persistence, no questions asked, it's a 5 out of 5, appears in almost every scene. For significance, it's a 5 out of film, the whole film revolves around it. And for villainy, it was cruel, calculated, and genius. Obviously, 5 out of 5. And the flawless Jurassic villain, 15 out of 15. And there we have it. So do you agree with my ranking? Let me know in the comments and tell me which Jurassic villain you think deserves the top spot, if some should be lower or some should be higher. Please let me know your opinions. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Goodbye.